I mean, it's a very special place to be, and I think you can see a lot of startups coming this way, and that's for a very good reason, because the ecosystem here is just perfect, and a perfect environment for young entrepreneurs to thrive and to start their own businesses. And a few of those reasons are, to start with, the fact that there are amazing mentors and numerous mentors here. That wherever you go, it's Stanford, Berkeley, and in San Francisco, in the city, there's tons of serial entrepreneurs that are willing to help young entrepreneurs to build their businesses. Another thing is the investor climate. Of course, that's one of the reasons why there's so much attraction to the Silicon Valley. It's because there are a lot of people out here that are willing to do risk investments, and basically that's what makes it possible for young entrepreneurs to start. That's basically kind of the second reason. And the third one is because of all those activities coming this way. There's not a day that you can look at a schedule without having 4 or 5 events going on. So if I go to Eventbrite or any sort of page or website where to look for things that are happening, I can find at least 5 things every day. And those can be startup mixers, classes, or speaker events. And there's always tons of entrepreneurs that come towards those activities, and that's also where you can find your co-founders. That's where you can find your mentors, and this way there's this ecosystem created here that's just perfect to build your business. I think maybe Matilda, I don't know if you have something to add to that.
Sure.
As from your perspective.
I mean, from my perspective as a student, I can say that during this first semester, there's like no week without me going to an event where, like a startup event. So I went to a lot of events where people just pitch their ideas, and here it's like they don't wait for their ideas to be like very mature before pitching them. Mm-hmm. It's like very early stage ideas, and while in France you have this fear of your ideas being stolen. Here it's like you have your ideas, you like put it there, and people give you feedback, and people say, oh yeah, that's great, I would like to help you out. Mm-hmm. Can I join you? I have this skill. That's just very different. And you have also all these people, like even if you arrive here in the Silicon Valley without having an idea, there's so many people around you. It seems that everybody have an idea and want to start something. Mm-hmm. So even if at the beginning you don't, like we used to say that after a month you want to start your company. Like there's no other way. And I can say that also, like I arrived here, first week I had like many different, for my project, I had many different options, and Transcends came to present, and I was like, that sounds great. And so it's also, you have a lot of examples here. You have a lot of examples, young people that started their company, and you're like, all right, why not me? Or just, why not joining them? It's like super exciting. Like no day is, like there are no 2 days in a row that are the same. Mm-hmm. It's like very exciting.
Yeah, I mean, I can only agree with that, and I think basically that touches on everything. It's an amazing environment where everyone has a lot of ambition, and there's just endless opportunity basically to start things.
Pero se tu vês as coisas que estão passando aqui em Silicon Valley em outras áreas como biotecnologia, nanotecnologia, computadores quânticos, inteligência artificial, é de explotar-la, é mind-boggling, como decimos aqui. Então, minha recomendação para as companhias familiares em Chile, que existem, como em Brasil, é Silicon Valley está cambiando-se no polo de poder, de tecnologia, de política econômica do mundo. Se não estão acá, se não aprendem com acá, vão estar fora da economia em 2 ou 3 décadas. Esta é a minha opinião, e eu estou claramente vivendo acá no Silicon Valley. E esse é o ponto do livro, de chamar a atenção tanto das empresas, dos formadores de opinião, quanto dos estudantes, que abram a cabeça, porque as coisas estão evolucionando muito rapidamente. Una pregunta que siempre me hacen es por qué las empresas familiares de Latinoamérica o las empresas tradicionales debían preocuparse con la amenaza de la tecnología en Silicon Valley, porque en el mundo tradicional esta amenaza nunca ha llegado, né? Por ejemplo, Walmart y otras empresas que eran amenazas en la década de 80 nunca llegaron a amenazar los players locales. Hay una diferencia, hay varias respuestas, pero una de las cosas importantes es que en el mundo digital las cosas son asimétricas, o sea, 2 o 3 niños en la casa, sin dinero, pueden amenazar una industria, por ejemplo, como la industria de telecomunicaciones. Esto es lo que pasó, por ejemplo, con Facebook. En Brasil, Google con YouTube es el segundo presupuesto de publicidad en el mercado. Y mira, la más grande empresa de tecnología de Brasil no es brasileña, es Google, de acá de Silicon Valley. La segunda es Facebook, de Silicon Valley. Entonces Globo, que es lo más grande TV de Latinoamérica, era una empresa que era inamenazable hace 5 o 10 años. Y yo creo que en 10, 15 años Google va a pasar Globo en ingresos, ciertamente en ganancias, ciertamente. Entonces, yo siempre digo ejemplos económicos que están pasando en el mundo digital para probar para la gente de Latinoamérica que las cosas son reales. Entonces, es interesante ver esto en el ejemplo de Google, de Facebook. Uber es una amenaza para los taxistas locales. Y está pasando ahora. Hay Twitter, hay empresas de pago que están amenazando los bancos, hay Bitcoin, que es una cosa difícil de entender, que puede afectar el sistema financiero local e internacional. Entonces, ¿por qué la tecnología es asimétrica? La amenaza viene mucho más rápido, exponencialmente, no viene linearmente como era en el pasado. Esta es una cosa que la gente no entiende, porque nosotros pensamos linearmente, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. El mundo digital es 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. Entonces, cuando nos damos cuenta, la amenaza ya está en nuestro país, en nuestra ciudad, y ellos empiezan a dominar el mercado en pocos años. Entonces, es súper importante hacer esta distinción del poder exponencial y de la asimetría del mundo digital. Eu creio que a tecnologia, no primeiro momento, hizo uma disruption, né, em inglês, do setor digital, de mídia, coisas que são mais similares ao setor digital. Pero agora começa uma disruption do setor offline. Então, por exemplo, energia, vamos falar de energia. El santo graal, né, o holy grail de energia é a fusão nuclear. Fusão nuclear é uma coisa que se consegue com algoritmos, muita ciência e muito dinheiro, por exemplo. Creio que há empresas acá de fusão nuclear em Silicon Valley, startups, que estão em Y Combinator. É incrível. Então, eu creio que Silicon Valley vai a disrupt todas as indústrias nos próximos 20, 30 anos, porque agora todo depende de tecnologia. 0,1%, este é um número que vem na minha cabeça, não há base científica, mas 0,1% do mundo cria ou desenha as tecnologias, e 99,9% de nós utilizam as tecnologias. O poder está migrando para este 0,1%, que é muito mais que o 1% de Wall Street, sabe? Então, o hecho de que estamos discutindo este assunto é super importante, porque ha llegado um ponto que temos que falar sobre a influência da tecnologia na vida de todos nós, não somente do mundo de Silicon Valley, de los geeks. Lo que passará acá nos próximos 20 anos vai influenciar a vida em África, em Latinoamérica, em Ásia, em Europa, em todos os lugares do mundo. Então, é uma responsabilidade de nós como cidadãos de discutir as tecnologias, as implicações das tecnologias e como podemos utilizar as tecnologias para o bem. E é super importante isso, porque a tecnologia é neutra, não quer ser mala ou boa, é como a energia nuclear. Pode ser utilizada para destruir cidades, pode ser utilizada para gerar energia limpa e barata. Então, agora estamos em um ponto de nosso mundo onde temos que discutir sobre estes assuntos. E minha ideia com este segundo livro é generar um desconforto da gente sobre estes assuntos de tecnologia para que empecem a discutir. Eu sou a favor da tecnologia, mas creio que temos que discutir sobre o uso da tecnologia em diversos sectores.
The concept that you've got an idea and you've got a story and you're going out to communicate what you're trying to accomplish. But there's also the idea that are you open to ideas? Are you open to opportunities? Sometimes maybe you have this idea for a venture or a product and you're telling other people and you're meeting people and you see them and they say, oh, that's interesting, and they tell you something about what they're doing. Sometimes what they're doing is so interesting and valuable, and you're so busy thinking about what you want to do that you're not even paying any attention to how great that other thing is. Right. And sometimes you can't tell it that it's great because you're looking at the product isn't there yet, so forth. But when you meet them as people, if they really impress you as people, you can pretty much imagine that even if their product is not what it is right now, they're going to find something else or they're going to adjust it. They're eventually going to make something work. And when you meet these people and you realize that they have these kind of skills and capabilities, sometimes you want to attract them to what you're doing. Sometimes you want them to attract you to what you're doing. You have to be open to the opportunity when it presents itself, and you're so fixed track on what you think, where you think you want to go. That can actually be one of the worst mistakes you can make. And if you're just open enough to actually step in the door of the other opportunity, you might join a venture which is going to be worth some enormous amount of money, and you may have a great experience with it, and you might have at the same time said no, they just didn't like my idea, and you just keep going in the direction that you were going. There's a lot to just being aware and open to the while you're making your claim, your story for the opportunity, being aware of the opportunities that are also around you by others. You're watching the world and you notice that something has happened that's different, and you say, I wonder what implication that has on this, or I wonder how that affects those people. I bet you this will cause a problem or a need of some sort. You can start thinking through those things, and then you link that back to your background, and of course there's the idea that gets converted to the story. So the reason why people tell stories is because that's, first of all, the way that you can most efficiently communicate your idea. And it's the way that people remember it. But the really important reason why people tell stories is that people will tell your story for you to other people. And there's kind of two ways to think about how you could go about building this business. One is you have the idea and you don't tell anyone. And so you go off into a room by yourself and you build whatever is your idea. And it might be a product, or it might be, who knows, you're working on a service or something, but you go and you do it, and then you come out and you say, look what I have done. The problem with that is that, of course, you're very likely to have built the wrong thing, because it's very unlikely that you can be away from the rest of the world that long and come back and actually be serving the needs. The second thing is it's a very slow process. It's a lonely and slow process to do it that way. And it's not really the way entrepreneurs do it. Instead, what you want to do is you want to be telling almost everybody this story, and when people are inspired by what you're doing, they will actually say, how can I help? They will find ways themselves to help you do that. And now you have scale with more people. And the thing is that if you start telling this story to customers and to people who might work on it, and with suppliers, and with people in the area, if everybody in that group believes that this is a good story and that this is actually something that's going to happen, then it is going to happen. You don't, that is actually all you need. The money, all those things are secondary. If customers want to buy something and people want to help you put it together, the money is almost an imaginary asset here, because what actually needed to get done is getting done. And the money will flow in all kinds of different directions. So using the story, the real purpose of the story is to attract stakeholders. That would be the terminology that we would use. But that's to build all the set of people, from investors to customers to suppliers and people who will work there, and the media, lawyers, accountants, to get all of the people who can help you to come together around your idea. Okay, that's the beginning of execution, telling your story.
Very few people are from Silicon Valley. I came here myself about 16 years ago. And it's a different culture here. Even though I'm from the United States, I'm from Louisiana. It's a very different state with a very different culture that's much more similar, frankly, to Latin American culture than it is to California culture. So when I moved here, I had to learn how to express myself differently, how to engage in conversations differently, but most importantly, it's the way you trust people. One of the most important things when people ask me what makes Silicon Valley different, what makes Silicon Valley work, it's the ability to form trusting relationships with people you do not know, and to work together on projects and trust that it will work out okay. Instead of the model that traditionally follows, which is I need to know someone very, very well for a very long time and have very large contracts that are signed before I can do business with them. It's a completely different paradigm shift. Why? What happens? What's the benefit of that? That's why innovation moves so quickly here. Because I can meet you for coffee, we can get along okay, we can start working together informally, and if that works out, we build a company together that we then formalize and that we then take to market. But we get to know each other first. And one of the other things that we hear in many places I go around the world is, I can't talk about my idea yet because I don't want someone to steal my idea. The number one challenge you have with your idea is you won't execute on it. Not that someone's going to steal it. Because for so long, people are worried about their idea being stolen. But when I go to countries and I say, tell me 3 examples of people who've had their ideas stolen and $1 million business has been built, no one has the ability to tell me that idea. No one has an example of that. But they've all heard about it, or they're scared about it, or someone in their family has told them they have to do it that way. I would just suggest that there's a different way to do that. Trust the people that you want to work with. Put yourself out there, especially when you come here, you're going to have to do that. Because if you hold your cards too close to your chest, no one's going to know what you have. No one's going to know that and they're going to wonder why you won't trust them and they're not going to trust you. So it's going to feel a little unusual, maybe a little strange at first, but give it a try.
One of the things I think that's worth talking about is some perceptions that I've seen in other parts of the world versus maybe a perception or a behavior that happens in Silicon Valley. There's a couple things. One is I've seen this perception outside that someone has to come and show you how to proceed. That that you're waiting for either a person or an institution or the government or some collective body, who knows, and you can't do anything because they haven't empowered you or they haven't shown you the path to go forward to be successful. And that is a automatic path to not making progress, because you're just indefinitely waiting, and that opportunity doesn't come to your door. You have to go and find it. And in fact, the alternative viewpoint, if that was a viewpoint that happened somewhere, the alternative viewpoint would be that I can learn anything I need to learn on my own, that I can go and make this opportunity happen, that just through my sheer interest I can meet other people, I can understand the situations, I can figure out what people really need, I can coordinate between the skills and the needs and the resources, that I can actively go and do these things and make these things happen. I think that's a very big mindset change, a very big belief system change, and that's something that just has to be overcome or has to be educated, that a person doesn't have to come and help you. You are the person who can help yourself.
Tener una empresa, una startup, una empresa que está desarrollando tecnología es un tema de supervivencia. Y acá una de las cosas críticas es el tiempo. Tú tienes que ser rápido y eficiente para hacer las cosas. Acá no tienes mucho espacio para equivocarte, y cuando tienes algún error tienes que pivotear rápido y enmendar tu rumbo lo más rápido posible, porque el tiempo para ti es aire para sobrevivir. Entonces tiempo es crítico. Y esa es como la gran ventaja de las empresas más pequeñas respecto a las empresas grandes, es la rapidez de cambiar de rumbo y de ir encontrando cuál es el nicho y cuál es el aporte que puede hacer en la sociedad. En ese contexto uno tiene que saber que en empresas chicas uno tiene que hacer de todo. Es decir, al principio era casi yo solo y tenía que hacer toda la parte de contabilidad, la parte de, marketing, la parte clínica, es decir, la parte más técnica mía. Pero uno tiene que hacer de todo y no tiene que tener ningún problema en hacer de todo. Es decir, si yo tengo que sacar fotocopias, saco fotocopias. Si tengo que ir a comprar, el cartridge a la impresora, tengo que ir a comprar porque no hay nadie más. Entonces tienes que desarrollar y tener un poco la humildad de saber que aunque estás en una empresa que puede tener un aporte grande, tienes que hacer todo. Y bueno, después vas agregando más gente a tu equipo, vas teniendo más capacidad de hacer más cosas, pero siempre con un perfil de hacer de todo un poco. Y uno tiene que saber, como fundador, y para poder estructurar bien la empresa, tienes que saber de todo un poco y estar dispuesto a aprender de todo un poco, que es un proceso que es cansador, pero es la única manera en que uno va sobreviviendo en este ambiente.
¿Qué son las empresas B? Justamente son empresas que no buscan ser las mejores del mundo, sino que buscan ser las mejores para el mundo, ¿sí? Detrás de esta diferencia, es decir, de ser la mejor del mundo o de ser la mejor para el mundo, hay una diferencia conceptual fuerte, que es, salgo de un paradigma competitivo y me meto en un paradigma colaborativo, donde el objetivo es medir el éxito en base a lo que dejo, en lo que contribuyo, en cómo hago que, si cada empresa, es más, pensémoslo de esta forma, si cada empresa que pasa por este planeta se lleva riqueza para unos pocos y destruye valor social y ambiental, ¿cuál es el negocio? Imagínense si todo el mundo que encara una nueva empresa la encara así. ¿Qué es lo que pasaría en el mediano o largo plazo? Y algo muy parecido a lo que nos está pasando. Ahora, en contraposición, pensemos qué pasaría si cada empresa que se crea, que recordemos que no es algo que existe naturalmente, es algo, una persona jurídica, es algo que uno crea intencionalmente, si traemos al mundo, aportamos a esta sociedad una nueva entidad que sería esa empresa, y después de la vida, porque todo tiene un ciclo de vida, en algún momento muere, después de ese paso de esa empresa por la sociedad quedó mejor, los recursos naturales fueron renovados, se cuidaron, imagínense si cada uno que pasa contribuye, cada uno que pasa ordena, limpia, cuida. Lo que vamos a tener como resultado de ese proceso es un mundo mejor. Y esto no va en contra de generar ingresos, ¿sí? Esto no es organizaciones sin fines de lucro. Es más, es usar el modelo de los mercados, es usar la dinámica de cómo funcionan las empresas privadas hoy con fines de lucro, agregándole la generación de valor económico, a eso le agregamos el desafío de la generación de valor social y ambiental. Cuando una empresa realmente desde su espíritu, desde su fundación, desde sus estatutos, se compromete a contribuir a que el mundo sea mejor, no solamente en la generación de valor económico, sino social y ambiental, entonces estamos en presencia de una empresa B.